All right, I hope you can hear me well. Hello, thank you for joining. Welcome. I know it's usually not many people watching, but I wanted to make this live stream because I think it's important. It's an important thing to acknowledge this day. It's a special day. 23 years ago of today, a terror attack happened, and for those people who lost their lives since then and the wars that has been fought since then should be acknowledged. And my condolences to the people involved. And well, that's it. My condolences, and I hope that people can move on. But sadly enough, that's not the case. Couple of things. It's been 23 years, of course. 20 since 20 years since 9/11. Approximately a month before, the Taliban took over Afghanistan again, and that's a tragedy. Now, people want to talk about what happened, what not happened. Again, I really don't have the I don't have the energy for today, but I wanted to go through at least some of the things that really bothers me with this day. Number one, of course, is that people still do not acknowledge that Islam is behind this. People are still going around, especially since Twitter is now an open cesspool for any crazy that 9/11 was an inside job. Now, don't take me wrong here. I I am very happy that's a free speech platform, but with the free speech platform, you have to deal with the crazies. And as much as I do want X or Twitter to be a free speech platform, the crazies do piss me off and they need to be addressed. But I rather have them addressed than not than trying to silence them because that just gives them more motive to say stupid shit. But they're not as active as before though when it comes to 9/11. I guess 7 October is now what everybody's going to talk about, but 9/11 is still a prominent thing because again, I heard it all. It comes from all sides. Some people believe it was the Jews. Other people believe that it was the Bush administration. And they're all just fucking mentally insane. I think it all stems from just that, well, you know what? People don't think that Muslims are capable of this. They don't think that they have the mindset to do this collaborated attack. And I think in a sense, that's actually quite funny that that kind of racism exists. Like, as much as I hate Islam, I will point out that Muslims are the way they are. The ideology behind it is what drives this. I can still acknowledge that they can be clever, dubious, and menacing, but clever when it comes to these things. But some people won't even acknowledge that. Anyway, so I wanted to go through a little bit of the timeline, a quick timeline. So I don't know if you guys have seen the religionofpeace.com. It's a very good website. Uh, thereligionofpeace.com. Let's start with that because that one actually shows us everything of jihad since September 11, 2001. Can you guys see this? Is it too little? Is it too small? I might have to. All right, let's do. This should be good. All right. So on this day, Shanksville, PA, USA, Americans on a hijacked airline forced it down to save lives elsewhere. 33 killed. Of course, it was not just the two airplanes that hit the twin towers. It was, of course, was it four or five? Yeah, four. So this one is the one that the Americans took control of it and forced it to crash on a site that's not in a remote area. Uh, I think they heard on on the air in there. They heard that something was going on, and rather to take the chances, they decided to fight back. The other one hit Pentagon. Of course, people will say, "Oh, there was never an airplane." And it's just idiots. But what can we say? Atrocity of the week. I don't know if I can show this. Burkina Faso, hundreds of slaughtered by jihadis. Um. Oh, a 24-year-old Israeli is killed in a car ramming by Palestinian terrorists. Islamic. Yeah, it just goes on and on and on. I mean, I can just spend days going through this website. I urge you guys to go through it yourselves. I honestly have not been on here for a long time because it's just too much, right? It's too much. And it's updated every time something happens that is related to Islam, a jihadi motive. But this is a very good website. Very good website. Uh, Again, it's been a steady income of jihad since 9/11, 23 years ago. Now, I wanted to go through another thing, and that's this one. Actually, looking for this one, but our friend Apostate Prophet showed us this on this day, and this is something that people
From the West
never
Bank. These are
forget. Let's play it from the start. This is the Palestinians on 9/11.
Sign for victory being displayed in East Jerusalem today among jubilant Palestinians that the United States had been subject to this attack. What are we to make of that, Jennifer? Are we to, Yasser Arafat may issue this condemnation. Look at this. We're seeing people applauding, clapping, smiling, happy to know that thousands of Americans have died in this sneak attack. And there you see a V for victory sign held up to the camera.
Was quoted as saying as he received a sweets handed around in celebration, "This is a sweet from Osama bin Laden," he said.
we have some videotape, I understand, that we're going to show you from the West Bank. These are Palestinian celebrations in the wake of Tuesday's terror attacks in the United States. Apparently, Palestinians took to the street chanting, "God is great." People were throwing candy, distributing candy to passersby, threw sweets in the air, saying, actually, that's a woman, pardon me, saying she was happy because, quote, America is the head of the snake.
Sign for victory being displayed
So
in East.
this is the beautiful Palestinians 23 years ago, and you wonder how this, how these people would not do something like October 7th. Yeah, I mean the mindset is the same today as yesterday. So another thing, a friend of mine wanted to show me this. This is San, my friend San. He wanted to show me this one. I cannot verify this, but it's interesting. So this is General Abdul Razik. I have no idea who this is. It's just that San told me to read this. So this tweet or the tweets related to this. We know that the son of Sheikh Osama, Hamza bin Laden, is alive, and he is currently planning another bloody attack like 9/11 from Kandahar province, which is the Nest. And of course, this is a disgusting, Disgusting birthday cake. I don't know what it says here. I don't know what this is, but I wanna read this one. Uh, of leaders of global jihadist organization, Hamza changes his hideouts every week, but spends most of his time in Al Farouk training camp in Kakwiz district of Kandahar province. Along with Hamza, his security officer Abdul Rahman Saudi, and Hakim Al Masri, who is responsible for the security of Al Qaeda military training camps in Afghanistan, and Abu Ikhlas Al Masri, the head of Civil Commission, are all in Kandahar, Zabul, Nangarhar, and Kunar provinces most of the time. They have started integrating and gathering their fighters in South Asia so that they can be sent to Afghanistan through Bahram Chah in Helmand province. On the other side of the border, in Iran's Balochistan and Sistan province and Shagai district of Pakistan Balochistan province are the areas that the Al Qaeda armed group uses as a safe route, and the Baloch militants BLA supports them because the Baloch are looking for a great Balochistan, and Al Qaeda is using their compulsions to their advantage to make Balochistan the biggest refuge of Al Qaeda, like Kandahar in Afghanistan. So this is interesting to me mainly because I see a lot of spaces on X talking about free Kurdistan and free Balochistan and them being linked together somehow. And anybody who is pro Shah or anti-Irani government somehow is an RGC agent if they speak up against this. So this is very interesting. So going back to what's going on in Afghanistan, since we're talking about Afghanistan now, and if we gonna disregard the idiots who think this still is an inside job, and I will come back to that, I want to show you a 2-year timeline since, well, this is from last year, so it was a 2-year timeline about what's going on in Afghanistan, and it might be interesting, and why this guy just tweeted about this and why it makes sense. So, August 15, 2021, the Taliban march into Kabul as international backed President Ashraf Ghani flees the country. Yeah, what a hero. August 26, 2021, Islamic State group suicide bombers and gunmen kill over 170 Afghans and 13 US troops in an attack on the crowds trying to be evacuated at Kabul's airport. You know what? It's gotta suck for the US troops to die at the day of evacuation. It's like, oh, the war is over, and and there's, oh man, it's just a fuck up. It's such a fuck up. March 23, 2022. On the day high schools are opening, the Taliban suddenly reverse a promise to allow girls about the sixth grade to attend schools. Girls who show up for the first day of classes are told to go home. May 7, 2022, the Taliban Virtue and Vice Ministry issues orders that women in public must wear all encompassing robes and cover their faces except for their eyes. It advises them to stay home unless they have important work outside the house. June 22, 2022, a powerful earthquake hits a remote region of eastern Afghanistan, killing more than 1,100 people. The Taliban struggles with rescue efforts, underscoring a lack of resources and a reliance on aid groups. And this is interesting because I remember during this time, Afghanistan was screaming for money from America and the West, saying, come to our country, visit us, be tourists, spend your money, but don't involve yourselves in our politics. You can't make this shit up. July 31, 2022, the US kills Al Qaeda leader Ayman al Zawahiri in a drone strike on a safe house in Kabul where he has been staying for months. Alhamdulillah. U.S. officials accused the Taliban of sheltering him in violation of the Doha Agreement. Uh, what do you guys think would happen? Oh my God. September 5th, 2022. An IS suicide bombing kills two diplomats at the Russian embassy in Kabul. A rare assault on the foreign diplomatic mission. Russia is amongst the handful of countries who have working embassy in Afghanistan, and the only European one. Uh, yeah, well, what can you say? September 30th, 2022, a suicide bomber strikes an education center in a Shiite area of the capital, killing dozens of people, including teenagers taking university entrance exams. Yeah, and this is always what's going on. When there's just no infidels left, the Muslims start to fight each other. And honestly, even though I'm not pro Shia or anything, and I don't want to support the Shias, it is true that the Shiite the Shiites in Afghanistan are absolutely treated horrendously. So, you know, even if this, I think ISIS was to blame here. I don't know if it's the official stance, but even so, this is a, when it comes to Afghanistan, this is a thing of a larger issue where Shiites are always uh, abused in a way. And you know what? She is wanna cry that they are somehow uh, the ones who get treated this badly by Sunnis, but in Iran, I mean, it's the opposite. It's the opposite. It's just in this fucking difficult. It depends on who has the power. November 10th, 2022, a nationwide ban on women using gyms and parks comes into force. The Taliban Day. Okay, so this is imposed the ban because women allegedly disobey gender segregation rules or didn't wear hijabs or Islamic headscarves properly. November 20th, 2022, the Taliban lashed 19 people, including alleged adulterers, in the first public flogging since the return to the Taliban rule. December 8th, 2022, the Taliban executes a convicted killer before hundreds of spectators in the first public execution since the takeover. December 21, 2022, the Taliban bar female students from attending university, having already banned girls from middle school and high school. And it goes on and on and on. So, uh, oh, this is the interesting part. Well, I mean, all of this is actually interesting. The fact that they there is no human rights anymore in Afghanistan. That's what it leads to. Anyway, the Taliban chief spokesman relocates his office from Kabul to Kandahar in April 6, 2023, the spiritual birthplace of the movement and the base of the supreme leader Hibatullah Akhundzada. It's the clearest sign yet of a power shift to the south, and this is this is exactly why the guy, General Abdul Razik, talked about Kandahar as the as the NIST. April 20, April 10th, 2023, the UN warns that its Afghan operations remain severely underfunded. It previously said that Afghanistan is its lowest funded operation globally, despite being the world's biggest humanitarian crisis. You know, and this is the last one because now I'm getting ads. Anyway, uh, oh yeah, so the beauty salon shuts down. The Taliban used stun guns on women protesting a ban on beauty salons, spraying the demonstrators with water and firing into the air to break up. So crazy. And also, I remember the first year or so, reports were coming in about women selling their newborn daughters. They were selling their babies Of course, according to Sharia, child marriage is halal, but I mean, selling your own baby to get means, and you understand how disgusting it is. Now you can say, well, I blame this, I blame that, but whatever the situation, it's a tragedy. Anyway, oh, I see the people from Twitter are here. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Um, yeah, and during, yeah, I actually wanted to show you guys some pictures from this as well. I have to do this. Let's see, there we go. Stupid ads. Finally figured out how to take off ads when I'm reading this, but when I update it, so when I take off the ads, then the pictures goes bye bye. And when I update it, I get the ads and the pictures. But I want to show these pictures. These are actually good pictures. Even the dolls cannot show. Oh, this is crazy. This is sad. Yeah. And these are the mullahs. Spit on all of them. All right. So the what is interesting is that right now, and I'm not going to go into it too deeply, but right now oh, in Bangladesh, I'm getting tired now. In Bangladesh, right now in Bangladesh, similar things happening when it comes to a Taliban formed government trying to take power. And if that's going to be the case, it's going to be a dark future. If they join forces with Afghanistan, I don't think they're going to join forces with Pakistan, but if they find new allies with Afghanistan, yeah, there's going to be a problem. So, back to the idiots of the 9/11 truth movement. Even though all of this is happening, people still have their heads stuck up their ass. And if Sarge is listening, yes, this includes her. A quick timeline. There, there have been people who are prominent in this. One of them, Barry Mason, a lefty in France, who 2002 released a book, 9/11: The Big Lie. There have been the Truth Movement and their websites, and a guy forgot his name. He's not relevant. I mean, he is, but I'm not. It's not as relevant to me to remember his name. But he made a movie that sucked about this as well, loosely linking some alleged conspiracies that may or may not hold up, but people took it and ran with it. This is an interesting article because this is how fast these rumors spread, even back in the day. So, just hours after a collapse of New York's Twin Towers, a conspiracy theory surfaced online which persists more than 16 years later. This was, when was this? 2018. Yeah, I'm tired. I can't even do math. Is it just me? An internet used named David Ruschek wrote. Sorry, an internet user named David Ruschek wrote, or did anybody else recognize that it wasn't the airplane impacts that blew up the World Trade Center? I hope other people are actually catching this, but I haven't seen anyone say it yet, so I guess I will. There's no doubt that the planes hit the building and did a lot of damage. But look at the footage. Those buildings were demolished, he continued. To demolish a building, you don't need all that much explosive, but it needs to be placed in the correct places. Someone had to have a lot of access to all of both towers and a lot of time to do this. This is pretty grim. The real dire part is, what were the planes for? What were the planes for? This was again. You know what? I even think I remember assholes going around and talking about this as this was going on. I was watching it live, well, live and live. The news footage that they broadcast that day, and it was 24-hour going on and for weeks actually. They were not stop. The news were not would not stop talking about this whatsoever. Like it was going on and on and on. And I remember seeing people outside and talking like this, really like just moments after. So, I don't know if there's something in America that allows people to really have this ill faith towards their own government, or if people are just this stupid. Now, don't get me wrong, I think America is a great place, but there's some fucking dumbasses over there, not gonna lie. So, subsequent investigations made it clear that the tower structures were weakened by the inferno from the planes and felled by the weight of collapsing floors. However, even now, some people refuse to believe this version of events. I don't know who these guys are. If these are people who died in the terror attack. Anyway, oh yeah, they're gonna talk about it right here. I think I'm gonna stop the stream honestly because I am too tired and I can't even I can't even form a sentence right now. You know what? You guys get the picture. Um, yeah, you guys get the picture. The point is, if you want to read this article, you can find it for yourself. And I am gonna do a uh, s- more sophisticated, relaxed pace and going through details this weekend. Tomorrow, I promised with Israel, I'm gonna do space. But basically, why I wanted to do this right now today, even though I'm dead tired, is because it's the day 9/11, and I'm gonna do it before I head off. So yeah, I see people are still here. Guys, do you have any questions or anything you want me to address, or take a note? Otherwise, I'm gonna say, please save me from the Middle East. I'm tired of all the Islamists. Well, I mean, you have them in America. Oh yeah, that reminds me. There were pictures from Muslims during that time going around and claiming that they're gonna take over America, and mosque popping up all over New York. I have to find these pictures the next time. Anyways, I gotta say, God bless America. Even though I don't believe in God, I do it as a courtesy because 9/11 needs to be recognized, and I hope that the people who are truthers, uh, I don't know, I hope you get your head out of your ass. It's been 23 years. I think it's time. You have smelled enough of your own shit, right? Time to get up, right? Time to smell the coffee. But yeah, um, I am again. This, you know what? I gotta say, this changed my life in a way, and I think it changed a lot of other people's lives. And it is what presented Islam in the Western world in modern days. And it has not been the same since. I remember I read an article about events that changed the world forever, and 9/11 was one of them. This was just a year or so after the attack, and I thought, really, can you tell about this event being a change for the world this early on? Don't you need more time before you can make such a uh, assessment? But they were right. They were absolutely right. 23 years on, and the effects of that day is still very much in effect. All right, guys, I'm gonna head off. Thank you for listening, and because we love to mock Islam, I'm gonna give you a good song to end up on.
She was just 9 years old. She was only playing with her dolls. A 50-something old Rasul approached. But coming from Allah, it's not an assault. She got sick from all the pressure, shortage of breath, and her hair fell off. Why was her silence seen as consent? Poor baby Aisha, she was innocent. She's the mother of all the believers, the title for being with a child abuser. Why Muhammad didn't leave her alone? Allah told him that child rape is condoned. Oh, Aisha, Aisha, pedophilia. Aisha, Aisha, cry, cry, cry. Aisha, Aisha is a victim. Aisha, Aisha, testify. They still blame you for starting the war, and you've been accused of adultery. But you were just a little child. What's wrong with Islam? 'Cause that's so wild. Aisha, Aisha, pedophilia. Aisha, Aisha, cry, cry, cry. Why won't you tell her story? Why so shy about your psychoprophet's glory? A role model for Muslims to follow, but now they have to defend a criminal pedo. Do they expect us to believe that a perfect messenger wouldn't know much better? This is Aisha's tale of abuse. Her father Abu Bakr was so confused until the Muslims speak the truth. Her story must be told to save the youth. Aisha, Aisha, pedophilia. Oh, Aisha, Aisha, remember her name. Aisha, Aisha, one more time. Aisha, Aisha, what did he do to you? Aisha, Sahih hadith are true. Oh, Aisha, Aisha, pedophilia. Aisha, Aisha, cry, cry, cry. Aisha, Aisha is a victim. Aisha, Aisha, testify.
Good night, everybody.